You know where we're at? Alright. Cool, what's up guys? New video, we're going to be talking about our gear from our stand, our platforms, hang stands, cameras that we use, why we use them, what we like about them, what we don't like about them.
As we film this, it is Mega 28.
Yeah.
As we go to tag this weekend, we are, for us, exactly 3 months away from deer season start.
Yeah, we are going to be urban hunting as well this year here in West Virginia, which for us starts September 2nd. We're also looking like we're going to be heading over to Ohio at some point too. So we got a lot of cool things planned for whitetail season this year. Sorry if you hear a bunch of footsteps in the background. My little one's upstairs running around. His aim is keeping him occupied. So here we are. Our kind of like our hunting setup, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
What do you want to start with?
Smallest base.
Alright, so if you watched any of the other videos, we almost mentioned XOP Outdoors in almost every single one of them.
And there's a reason for that.
They make really good products, in our opinion, especially for the money that we spend.
Consumer price friendly.
Yeah, and I would go with anyone to argue that claim. Not to mention they get sweet GovX discount for us, which we appreciate that. So XOP, if you're watching this, thank you so much. You guys make good stuff, and shout out to that discount because that means a lot to us.
Somebody said Podium does one, but I haven't
For the Easton Arrow,
supposedly.
yeah, I looked on that the other day.
I haven't found it yet. And when I go to GovX and type them in, so if you have a link, please
Send it to us.
Yeah.
As whoever was that commented saying Podium Archery had a GovX, I did not find it
because I was on a lot of Podium Archery. Like, I bought my Evolution Outdoors from them, and I bought a piece of 5 others.
I haven't seen that GovX logo.
But, however, we could be missing, so if you see it, just send it to us.
Yeah, just send it to us. So yeah, XOP Outdoors. Do we have the saddle down here?
I do not.
No, we don't have the saddle down here, but if you're wondering, we use the Mondo saddle, and if you've watched some of the other videos, the Mondo, the cool thing about that is it doubles as a traditional hang stand harness to tether you up here, or it has the saddle set up so you can tether yourself here where normally the saddle was. We use the X2 climbing sticks, which I have a set. We use these. They come in a set of 4 if you buy the full set.
Do you recommend putting gun tape or some kind of silence tape around them because they are metal and they do make noise?
It does dampen it a little bit, not too much though, but not as much if you hit it like on the.
It's not carbon. It's not allowed to use carbon SS sticks, but just understand they're like every other climbing sticks. They are metal, so just be aware of that as you go in the woods.
Yeah. And these things will stick to the tree.
I have taken my strap off prematurely and then had to climb up, and they still stuck in the tree just fine.
Yeah.
Wouldn't recommend doing that. However, I have.
I would say for only maybe standing on each one independently for maybe 15-20 seconds max while you're climbing up. Letting go of the strap or loosening it, and this thing's still hanging onto the tree to where you actually have to pop it off. It's pretty good. We also do run another set of their climbing sticks. I can't remember the name of them. It's gonna hit you when we're done filming this, but it's one that has a set of 3 connected together, and then one pops out one way, one pops out the next way, and so on. They're a little bit cheaper. I would say for a set of 4 of these, it's like $189. And then for the set of 3, it's just the.
But do you remember how much we paid for the whole?
Yeah, the whole setup was like $500.
Yeah,
and that's pushing it.
Yeah, and I think it was less than that. I think it was around 4.
Let me say this though: what he means and what we mean is the whole setup was we got the Mondo, this platform, which I don't cover.
3 climbing sticks.
4
climbing sticks.
4 climbing sticks. And
the harness.
Yeah.
Climbing belt,
all the setup, all the lines.
Everything. Basically everything you would need to take was in the tree.
Yeah, everything. And it was about $480 is 5. We'll just round up. It was $500, which was for us was like absolutely take my money.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have the other set of climbing sticks too that we're going to use for the first time this year. And the reason I say I bring those up is because you get a set of 3, which gives you essentially 3 steps on each one. So 9 steps total, without using any like screw-in climbers if you want to get higher, for $120. I think that's without the discount. With the discount, it only comes down to like $106. But whatever. For $100, you can get up into a tree And then the platform, I think this platform is maybe 120-ish if you get the cheapest one.
Yeah.
Which I think there actually might be a model lower than this, but either way, this thing's been amazing too.
We sat in those all last year.
All last season.
The job blew out my knee, and that's when I purchased one of these. But also remember that when we're talking about these sticks, that's without aiders. If you're one of those individuals who wants to put an aider on the bottom of this stick, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
For us, we just haven't done that yet. Not saying that they're bad. But yeah, you can get deep into a tree very easy with aider and a couple of the sticks they give you.
Yeah. And talking about the other sticks, the reason that we're going to go to those is because, like we said, they're $100 and we can pretty much hang them and move them. I don't worry about someone possibly stealing those as much as I would these, just because of the price difference. However, be careful if you're hunting publicly than anything. So there's a good chance that it might not be there when you come back. Cam, tell them about the hang stand and why you decided to get this one after we'd already got the saddle set up with the platform.
Yeah, so I had the saddle set up. I ran it for about a few months, and then one good day, my meniscus in my knee for the second time, so I had to say I don't like life anymore, and exited. So I was without my primarily my right knee for most of the end of the season last year. So the saddle, while great, while I can take pressure off my knee, is not the greatest. So I switched over to their platform setup, which is still mobile. You can still take it wherever you want. However, I do have the option to sit down and take the weight off of my knees while waiting for a deer to swim by.
And real quick, for camera moves on, just because I saw it, weight limit is 350 pounds on this thing.
Yeah. So us big boys out there can definitely get in trees and be fine all day long. Does come with a cushion. Ran fine. This will be what I set up in my major hunting spot, the one that I'm not worried about all year long. That is going to be the one that I hang out with. It's going to be there. The platform primarily stays in my truck when I'm public land hunting or whenever I am rolling around through the urban neighborhood.
You have to do something fast.
Put it in, put it out, get it out.
Not to say that that's not fast, but if you're just trying to get up into the tree, you're
significantly heavier.
Yeah, it's going to take this. I would say, from my personal experience, not that you can't hang it as fast and take it down like you can on one of these with a saddle. However, that's a little bit more of a process.
Yep.
Cameron just said it's a little bit heavier. It's obviously wider, and you're trying to drag that up into the tree with you while standing on something like this. It's not the easiest.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's not difficult, but.
And what I've done for my platform in particular and my sticks is I have carabiners attached to the back of them, so they clip into my saddle. So as I carry them up, I just unclip them. With this, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
this is definitely going to be something I put a rope to or something like that, and then there you go.
And if you're wondering about the saddle that we're talking about, or any, how it goes on, literally the first video we ever did was the XOP Mondo saddle.
Still great. I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
great saddle.
We're gonna do another one. We have better technology, camera. We'll be able to see it a little bit more crisp. We're gonna do another video here in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Next time we head up to the woods to put some feed out, we'll make another one about getting up in the tree, and we'll use all this stuff here. But we use XOP Outdoors equipment, from the hang stand to the climbing sticks to the saddle itself, the harness, and the platform. Absolutely love them. Would recommend them to anybody. And let me say this: not knocking on any of the other companies. Honestly, I'm sure the rest of them are just as great, because there's only so many new avenues when it comes to this type of stuff that you can take that is really going to set you apart. But these things, like I said, they bite really well into the tree. The teeth bite really well. XOP has a system, which I'm sure some of the others do too. It replaces the old ratchet strap style, because those ratchet straps, believe it or not, in your little bag add some weight when you're trying to get up in the tree. And they have one now. Is it the HF8S system?
I think so. I have to look into it.
Yeah, they're little, almost like paracord looking things.
Yeah, I know.
And they're quicker. That's all they are.
I know Latitude does it, and I know Tether does it as well. They have that system instead of the old ratchet. However, their platforms still have the ratchet system.
Yeah.
The platforms.
I will say that, me personally, not that it wouldn't work, I would feel more comfortable with a thing that's going to hold a lot of my weight most of the day to have an actual ratchet on there. But the rest of them, that's just a temporary step move up. I would take the smaller lightweight option. Moving on. Trail cams. We use the Tacticam, the Reveal. We use the 2.0s or the 2 series, and this is one of the new 3.0 series.
Yep.
Cameron, you've had more time with the 3.0s than I have.
Yeah.
So tell them what you like about it compared to the last one that we had, which was the 2 models.
So 2.0s are awesome. However, one of the biggest downfalls is 1, the SIM card, and 2, the SD card.
Yeah.
The SD card is great if you don't check them all the time or don't have cellular turned on.
Mhm.
So during the off season, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Which you still can run an SD card in these, and most of mine do. However, these are optional now. So you don't have to have an SD card to be able to run a 3.0. And
So when it captures an image on the new 3.0, it just saves it in a cloud.
Yeah.
Look at.
yeah, and just send it to your phone cellular wise. The option to not have to have the antenna out is great for us running for bears.
Yep.
However, obviously better signal with the antenna. But you can run it down and clip it into the little mount right here, and it runs just fine.
Cameron brings up a really good point. We've seen a couple other people, not in videos but online too, saying that they've had the antenna get knocked down and it's almost like nothing had even happened to it. It was still sending crystal clear image.
Yeah, and honestly, I had my last one. I just got this one replaced, which is in that box over there. A bear actually knocked it over and broke the antenna. We're still sending pictures just fine. The antenna just wouldn't stay up anymore. It was just kind of loose. So it hung up, but it still stayed just fine. I have noticed a little bit better picture quality with these.
Okay.
A little bit better battery life. Not enough to me, like personally, if I had a 2.0, that worked just fine for me to be like, definitely a 3.0.
Okay. Okay, so Cameron, you kind of hit a key word there, battery life. We have bought the rechargeable battery systems from Reveal. How has it held up in your opinion on the 3.0? Because I can tell you right now, on the 2.0s,
There's a reason I'm going back to Duracell.
on the 2.0s, my battery with the rechargeable battery, which is supposed to replace up to 1,000 batteries, hasn't lasted more than 2 days max.
And that's on multiple camera settings.
I've even lowered my capture settings or my sensitivity, and still it's dying. I looked 100%. We checked the camera. We head on out. 2 days later, I'm getting a notification that says my camera battery's at 1%.
However, the Duracells are lasting 2 weeks.
2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Which I will say,
Same settings.
Yeah,
Nothing changed.
the weather also plays a part in that.
Yeah.
If it's cold, it's going to drain twice as fast.
Same if it's over hot.
Yeah, if it gets super heated.
And we understand that. However, I have bought 5 cameras, or 5 the lithium rechargeables, and it's the same thing. Like I have one that'll last 4 or 5 days, and then I have one, same spot, lasts 2 days. And I'm just gonna try to go to batteries. So I'll be an extra $20 in a month and go to batteries.
And so if somebody from Reveal or Tacticam wants
Tell us what we're doing wrong.
yeah, tell us why your rechargeable batteries are ass. No, we're not going to change and go to Moultrie or any of the other ones because we've already invested too much in these.
But then you don't want to sponsor us.
Yeah.
We're not sponsored by anybody. Just saying, if you want to,
Yeah.
we'll take it. We'll try it.
But when these things when they are charged and they have great batteries in them, they work just fine.
Yeah.
Pictures are great. The HD,
Nighttime pictures are great.
the Tacticolor is a great feature too, especially at nighttime.
They held up while Bear was eating at one time.
Yep.
They got the video all the way through. I got the SD card out.
Yeah.
I do like their cage system they have. I do have a couple of their armor systems to cover it. It does help protect the antenna.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything negative really besides their battery life on their rechargeables.
Yeah.
They do a fantastic job. They sit on the tree well. They run the ratchet system to hold on to it.
And to play devil's advocate, I do have a solar panel for one of these, and that camera never died.
Yeah.
It was on for months until we had to move it. But with what we're saying with the weather, with the sun not getting overheated, we normally tend to keep them on a tree facing away from the sun. So it doesn't matter really what time of day. The sun's always usually at the camera's back, especially on my side of the ridge where we have our cameras mainly right now. So that's not overheating is not really a issue for us. However, it has happened before.
We understand it's a thing.
Yeah.
one thing I'll also say about these is like for the price point, they're a really good camera. I think for the non-pro version, it's $119.
Yep.
I think you can find the 2.0s on sale, like
$80 at Walmart
for 2-pack, which is fucking fantastic.
Yeah. Well, okay, let me say that it's for a single of the last year's model. It's $80 at Walmart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's still a hell of a price for a good trail cam. The two work just as well. You just have to have an SD card, and you have to put the SIM they provide you in there. So you have to pick between AT&T and
Verizon. Yeah.
However, I lost my first camera this year to a random person. A random person came by, got my SD card, my fault, didn't lock it, and broke one of my cameras. And to be fair, like, I had a moment where I was like, damn, that sucks. And I was kind of pissed off about it. But I also understand that when you're in public lane, it's going to happen. Like, you're going to run into it. And
People suck.
yeah, and I also understand that, like, at the end of the day, man, I'm not really worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these cameras can take a beating, and it wasn't an animal, it wasn't something that bit it, it was just a terrible human.
Which we have had a bear. We did have a bear eat one of Cameron's
They're two
cameras.
There's a lot of place on. But what I'm saying is like, with these cameras, I'm not worried about them being out in the woods, elements, animals. I don't worry about if, like, at the end of the day, someone breaks it. Am I out $100 for a camera? Yeah, that sucks. But I'm not at a price point to where, like, I get pissed off if something happens to it. I understand what they're made for. And I also understand where they get placed. And
It's not an end of the world scenario.
yeah, so for a hell of a camera, $120. Oh, by the way, if you got Cabela's, get their warranty program, because they will replace your camera, and then you just transfer the warranty to the new camera. All you have to do is have the camera and your receipt. I've done it 3 times now. Absolutely fantastic. I would not get it. Cabela's big box store, they sell, they'll get one. Yeah.
And also another thing too, we forgot to touch on. We were talking about the platform and the handstand and the sticks, which we'll put a link in the description to XOP, to the platform, all of it.
Yeah.
No rust.
Oh yeah, tell about that.
These things have been out in the wet all last season, and looking over them at the end of the year, because we always talk about make sure you inspect your gear.
Yep.
Last thing you want to do is be climbing up into a tree to saddle and
Frame lines
a frayed line, something's torn, you don't see it. One of these things is loose, it's screw, you slip, fall. If you hit your shin on this, just go ahead and walk back to the truck, pack it up, and go home, because that's what you're going to want to do anyway. No rust. Everything's hanging, no pun intended, everything is hanging on quite well. Platform still functions as it should. None of the bolts are rusted. Everything moves freely. It's not grinding, but you can tighten it up a little bit if you want to. But so far, these things have held up fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, XOP, good job. Reveal Tacticam, great job. Just work on that freaking battery.
But yeah, that's it. This is what we're going to run this year. This is what we're going to run this year.
Yep.
I don't foresee it changing. We're not opposed to it. If you have a reason that you hate XOP, let us know. If you have a reason to love XOP and you found a different brand that you like, let us know. We're not opposed to spending the money and getting something different if it makes sense. The issue is you got to make it make sense, man. I'm not going to change something because it works and someone else said this is a better product. You have to make it make sense for them.
Yep. And we love all this. We love the stuff that we use. Me and Cameron are the type of man, the type of individual, the type of hunter to where once we find something, if we use it and we like it, you're gonna have to give us an out of the ballpark reason to switch, just because that's just who we are.
Like this could be right here. This is maybe 3 pounds, 4 pounds.
If that,
Yeah. I get it. There's probably one made out of carbon somewhere that's like 1.5 pounds. I'm not out west elk hunting with one of these, like elk shape's going to this year. So you can't come to me and be like, fuck, it's 2 pounds light. Not gonna matter, man.
yeah.
It's not, to me, whitetail hunter, not gonna matter to me. You have to come to me and be like, I have a product that never breaks, that can get you in a tree 1.5 minutes faster because it applies so much quicker. You're gonna have to make it make sense.
And we get the old adage, because we heard it a million times our time in the service. Ounces equal pounds. Not when you're only going to be using it or having it hang on you for a couple minutes. Because honestly, no disrespect, We know some of you guys probably got a pretty decent height to your hunting spots.
Yeah.
Once me and Kevin get out the truck, you know,
Exactly. We ain't got that far.
we got maybe 150, 200 yards off the dirt road, so we're not walking that far. And then, you know, we kill one, we just leave it where it's at. You go grab it, take care of the animal, and then go back and get our stuff. So,
Like I said, out west, you're spotting, stalking. You can have them. You can
do your thing.
We understand.
Yep.
But for us, for what we do,
Not over here on the east, baby.
we're good, man.
So yeah, that's it. Exciting stuff coming up. Don't forget about the Dowel Proof Archery site. We're almost there on Instagram. Do not forget, if you follow us on Instagram and you want a chance to win the Dowel Proof, you also have to follow us on YouTube. That's part of the deal.
Yep.
Arrow giveaway, we're giving away a set of the FMJ Max and the Easton 5.0s to one of you. All you have to do is spend at least $1 on MothmanOutdoors.com. Again, that's MothmanOutdoors.com. $1, every dollar equals an entry into that giveaway, and all the money is going to
Luis.
yeah, the young man that was injured at West Virginia Tech. We know his people set up a GoFundMe. We're going to add to that. The money was actually going to go to one of these as a setup for one of you. However, this is a much better option, so that's what we're going to do. That will end June 15th, and if you remember on our story the other day, we introduced you to the new amigo of Mothman Outdoors, Logan.
AKA Mothman Johnny.
AKA Mothman Logan. He's getting his Matthews soon. We're going to have a video about that, and then we're also going to be doing a arrow setup with him. It sounds like, from talking to Logan, he's going to roll the ultras just to get used to shooting, and then come hunting season, they'll probably go to the 5.0, just like the new camera. So, fun stuff coming up. We're super excited about this weekend.
We'll be in Seven Springs.
We'll be in Seven Springs. If you see us and you come up to us and say, "Hey, you two idiots are Mothman," you don't have to call us idiots, but you know what I mean. We will give you a free decal on the spot and send you a free t-shirt later. Yep. So no one has done that yet. We actually had someone tell us they knew who we were the other day, which was super cool.
Yeah.
But that didn't count. So if you see us in Seven Springs, say hi, tell us who you are, tell us what you like, or hate our videos. We don't care.
Well, at least tell us why you hate our videos.
Yeah.
Like, say you just right next to West Virginia. Like, that's fine.
Don't
tell us why.
Just say you hate us because you hate us. Just give us a reason.
Yep.
See you in Seven Springs.